everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ruby Tamang and you're watching various aspects of education. So if you are a master degree student in the subject of education and you're planning to prepare for your NET exam, then this is the right time for you. And even if you have already completed your master degree and you are planning to prepare for your NET exam, then this video will definitely going to be beneficial for you. So today I'm going to share with you all about how I clear my NET exam in the subject of education in my very first attempt, and also JRF before completing my master degree program. So I'll be sharing with you all some strategies that I used during my master degree in order to study, and also I will share you some tips of how you can study in a smart way. So we will be discussing those aspects one by one. So let's get started. So guys, before I share the strategies that I use in my studies, it is first important for me to highlight about my background, because when it comes to education, we have two courses. One is a liberal course, that is MA in education, and another one is a professional course, that is Master of Education, also abbreviated as MEd. So both of which are eligible to apply for the same NET exam. Therefore, it is important for me to highlight about my background. So when I appeared for NET exam for the very first time, that time I was only in my MEd second semester, and the timings of my university exam and NET exam was very close to each other. Here you can see this is my university admit card for my MEd second semester examination, and my last paper was on 20 June 2019. Here you can see it is here. And on the very next day, that is the 21st June 2019, I had my NET exam. And even my exam center was in the neighboring state, that is in Assam. Here you can see in Assam, Guwahati. So I had to travel to Assam from Shillong to appear for my NET exam on the next day. And guys, literally saying I had no time to study anything for my NET exam. So whatever I gave was based on my own understanding and knowledge that I have gathered during my master degree. But somehow I was able to clear my NET in assistant professor level, and I was feeling happy for it, because who wouldn't be happy to get through NET in their first attempt, that too without any preparation. So again, my next target was JRF, as I wanted to study for PhD after my master. But my situation remained the same. In my third sem, my situation was reversed. As last time, during my second sem, my NET exam was just after my university exam, and this time in the third sem, my NET exam was just before my university exam. Here you can see the admit card of NET exam of December 2019 when I was in my third semester. So the examination was scheduled on 3rd December 2019, and my university examination was scheduled from 5th December 2019. And you guys had no idea how confused I was that time. Many of my friends who had also applied for the same NET exam dropped their idea, because they didn't wanted to waste the entire day in traveling and giving NET exam without preparation and jeopardize their university exam. I too had the same feeling. However, at the last moment on the day of NET exam, that is on the 3rd of December, I changed my mind and decided to appear it irrespective of the consequences. And believe me guys, this time too I had no time to prepare especially for my NET exam. Whatever I have learned so far was through my master degree syllabus, and somehow a lot of the content of NET syllabus was similar to my MEd syllabus. And this was the result, and yeah, after the result was out, I felt very happy for my decision to take the exam. So I was able to clear my JRF in my second attempt. That was when I was in third semester. And these were my scores. So here you can see in paper 1 I got very less, that was only 44. And in paper 2 I was able to score comparatively good, because my basic concepts on my own subject was quite clear. So this was my score. I got 64%, and it was corresponding to 99.42 percentile. At the end, I feel like I could have done much better if I got the chance to prepare, especially for the paper 1, because it's a common paper where there is various other aspects besides our own subject matter. Therefore, you need preparation in your first paper, especially the mathematical reasoning part and data interpretation part. But somehow I was happy because I was able to clear the GRF without much effort. After the completion of my MEd fourth semester, the result of which was declared on November 2020, I was able to score CGPA of 8.38, and I got gold medal in my MEd course. After that, I appeared for PhD, the exam of which was conducted on February 2021, and the result of which was declared on 15 March 2021. And I got selected in merit list number one. So at the end, it was a win-win situation for me because I was able to clear my GRF, as well as I was able to get a gold medal in my MEd course, and also got admitted in merit list number one in PhD. So this was all about me. So now I will share some strategies which I hope will be helpful to you in order to get through your NET exam. So guys, these were the strategies that I used during my master degree, which might also help you out. So I will explain this one by one in my upcoming slides. So the first and foremost is you need to make a strategy and start right from the very beginning. And the next is you need to develop your time management skills, because when your time management skill is good, then you will be able to stretch out your time and manage your other activities as well. And the next is you need to know your strength and weaknesses area. And the next is you need to prepare notes and you need to do self-study. And the next is you need to improve in these two areas, that is mathematical reasoning and comprehension. So these two are compulsory area that comes in NET exam. So you need to improve in these two areas. And the next is you need to study in a smart way. I will also give you some tips of how you can study in a smart way. And the next is you need to use a mind maps to recall and revise. And next is you need to do a mock test before going to the main exam. And the last one is you need to keep yourself updated. So let us check them out one by one. So the first and foremost thing is, before starting out anything, you need to first plan and make strategies of how you are going to do that. So the first is identify your active period. Say for example, if you are an early riser or you are a late explorer, in the sense that some people can really wake up very early in the morning around 4 to 5 or 3, but there are some people who are more active during night time. So you need to first identify your active period. So many people say that early to rise and early to bed, so that is a good concept. However, it doesn't apply for each and every person is unique. So if you think that you are more active during evening time, yes, so to say from 8 to 11 or 8 to 10, then you can prepare your study hour in that time instead of preparing in the morning. So there are some people who are really inactive during morning time. So if they make these strategies in the morning time, then it will not work out with them. So you need to first identify your active period. And the next is identify your learning style. So when it comes to learning style, every person has their own learning style. Some people understand better when they watch videos, and some people understand better when they read the text by themselves. So you need to understand and identify your own learning style, which are the ways that you prefer and which are the ways that makes you more comfortable and helps you to understand the concept more. So you need to understand that first. And there are also some people who can do mathematics like statistics and any other calculation. They can do such calculations by listening to music, and they really are good with that. So if you are that kind of person, then you can obviously do that. So the next thing is collect the syllabus of NET. So you need to first know the syllabus of NET. So when I was in my MET, so I compared both the syllabus of NET and my master degree. So and I found out that most of the components are almost same in NET syllabus and our postgraduate syllabus. So if those things are already there in your postgraduate syllabus, then you don't need to prepare extra for NET, because that you are going to prepare for your PG exam also. So therefore you need to know which are the things that are not included in your syllabus, which you need to prepare for your NET. Next is collect previous year question papers to check out the pattern of questions. So you need to know the type of pattern that is coming in the questions, and also check out how it is framed, and then get yourself acquainted with the question pattern, how the question patterns are there and which portion are asked frequently. So you need to know all this. Next is be regular and systematic in your study. So you need to be regular, prepare your notes regularly, prepare your study hour regularly, instead of trying to complete it within a month or within a week. So that is very difficult to do that. So when you prepare right from the very beginning, it becomes very easy for you to do just revision during the time of examination. Now, coming to the next, you need to develop your time management skills. So, as I have already told you, that you need to identify your active period of when you are more active and when your brain works very fast. So, you need to first identify those, and then you need to prepare time management. You need to divide the time for the subjects that you need more emphasis on, and then you can also prepare your weekly plan and daily plan. So I prefer the daily and weekly plan, because when you plan the monthly plan and yearly plan, some people may start procrastinating by thinking that they still have lots of time to prepare for the exams. So it's better that you prepare your weekly and daily plan, so that for each day you keep one task that you need to complete that task for each day and for each week. So when you complete that task, you will feel much more self-confident that you have at least completed this task in that particular day, and then you will move forward for the next task. So that is how you can do. So the next thing is, you need to analyze your strength and weaknesses. So there are many people who are good with some aspects of education subject, and they are poor in some another aspects of education. So you need to understand what are your strength areas and what are your weaknesses areas, so that you can plan your strategies accordingly. So for example, so in my case, these are my strength areas. So I was comparatively good at statistic and research methodology, and I was also good at information communication technology. I won't say an expert or professional, but at least I was good at the basic concepts of all these aspects. So I was also good at teaching aptitude, as I come from a B.Ed and M.Ed background. So I was very clear with teaching aptitude, and even teaching pedagogy, I was very clear with this concept. And the next is, I was very much interested in educational psychology. That's why these areas were very interesting to me, and I was able to learn very quickly in these areas. So these were my strength. Then after, I also identified that I was not very good at educational philosophy. Like for example, we have Indian philosophies, we have Western philosophies of thought. So I was not that good at all those areas, and even I was not good at the history of education. Say for example, right from ancient period to medieval period, and then British period, and after independence, the changes that occur. So I was not good at that point when I was preparing for net exam. These were the weaknesses that I had, but now I have learned a lot on these areas as well. But in that time, I was weak in this area. So what I did was, I divided my time accordingly. I gave more time to study in these weakness areas, and I divided lesser time in the areas where I already know the basics. So likewise, you can also identify your strength and weaknesses and divide your time, and develop your strategies in order to come over your weaknesses and make it into your strength. And the next is, you need to prepare notes and do self-study. So while preparing your notes, don't limit yourself with the books, because for writing and printing of books, it takes time, and by that time there is already many development that is going on in the field of education. Therefore, you need to also go through some research papers and other recent developments that is going on in the field of education. And the next is, prepare your own notes. It's always better to prepare your own notes, because when you prepare for your notes, you have to study, and then you become acquainted with the concept. So it is very helpful for you while preparation for your net also. So the next thing is, always look for authentic sources when you are using internet. So in internet, all the things may not be true. So it's better that you always look for authentic sources. So some of the authentic sources are research papers from reputed journals, such as you can use academia, you can use researchgate, you can use Google Scholar. So these are academic websites of research papers. You can create your own account in these websites, and you can download the research papers that you need in that particular topic. So you can also always rely on government websites, because they are very authentic. So when you look for example, now we have NEP 2020. So when you want to know about NEP 20, it is better for you to go for authentic sources in the government websites, that is MHRD websites and UGC websites. And in the case of education, we also can look for an NCTE websites. So the next thing is, for those who are doing still doing master degree and have not yet completed their master degree, then for you guys, you need to prepare notes right from the very basics, because when you don't know about the basics, then it becomes very difficult for you to clear net exam. because in that exam we have multiple choice questions. It is not a written question where you can just write down anything. It is a multiple choice, therefore your basic concepts is very much important. Next is, after preparing detailed notes on the basics of all the aspects, you can also prepare short hand notes for quick revision, where you can just write down the related aspects in a bullet point so that you can directly look it and revise it in a quick manner before the exam. And the next is, you can also develop your mind maps. So I will show you how mind maps are in the coming slides. So the next, those students who have already completed their master degree and already know the basics, for you can directly go for preparing your shorthand notes for quick revision, and you can also do prepare your mind maps. I wanted to say that actually I never use any books that was meant for net preparation, especially for net preparation. I never use any book. So since I have never used any books for net exam in my life, so I cannot recommend you in that case. So moving on to the next, you need to improve in these two areas, that is mathematical reasoning and aptitude plus comprehension. So why I am emphasizing so much in these two areas is because this mathematical reasoning is a compulsory part that comes in paper 1, and it comes with a set of 5 questions. So that means the total marks for this mathematical reasoning part that is compulsorily coming in paper 1 is 10 marks, because each question carries 2 marks. Coming to the next, that is comprehension. It is a compulsory part that comes in both paper 1 and paper 2. So at least there is one comprehension in paper 1 and one comprehension in paper 2. So here you can see one comprehension consists of 5 sets of questions, and each question carries 2 marks, which equals to total 10 marks in paper 1, and in paper 2 again 10 marks, so the total becomes 20 marks. So if you are not good in comprehension, then you will jeopardize your 20 marks. Therefore you need to improve in these two areas, because this is compulsory part that comes in that exam. Moving on to the next, so this was the question paper which I have taken from June 2019, which I appeared for the first time. So this was the question that came from mathematical reasoning and aptitude. So this is a compulsory part that comes in net exam in paper 1. I will also show you this, that in the same paper in June 2019, which I have appeared for the first time, in paper 1 we had one comprehension, which the question of which started from question number 11 till question number 15. So from this one particular comprehension, we have 5 set of questions from question number starting from question number 11 to question number 15. And the next, in the same exam in the paper 2, we had one more comprehension, the question of which started from 91 till 95. So you can see that if you are weak with comprehension, then you will lose this 20 marks in paper 1, and paper 2 10 marks. So this was a question paper of December 2019, which I appeared for the second time, where I was able to clear my JRF. So in paper 1, we got this mathematical reasoning and aptitude question. So out of this data, we had 5 set of question, which started from question number 26 till question number 30. Therefore, mathematical reasoning and aptitude is a mandatory part which comes in paper 1. Therefore, you need to improve in these areas. Otherwise, you will lose these 10 marks. And next, I will also show you in the exam of December 2019, we had 3 comprehension. We have seen that 2 comprehension is compulsory in NET exam. However, there are sometimes also situation when you might get more than that. So in December 2019, we got 3 comprehension. First comprehension was in paper 1, which the question of which started from question number 46 till question number 50. And in the paper 2, we had the second comprehension starting from question number 91 till 95. And the second comprehension in paper 2 was the question started from 96 till 100. So you can see that if you are not good with comprehension, then if you appear this exam, then you will know that 30 marks comes from comprehension alone. Just imagine, 30 marks is not a small marks. It is a huge marks. So if you improve on your comprehension, then obviously it will be helpful for you. So for that, you practice comprehension, start studying comprehension. So record your time, how much time you take to read the comprehension and how much time you take to solve the questions. So the more practice you do, the more better you will become. And for that, you also need to improve your vocabulary. because these passages consist of some difficult words also. Therefore, you need to prepare your vocabulary as well. So now I'm going to share with you all about some tips of how you can study in a smart way. So when it comes to study, just doing hard work is not enough because there is too many things to study. Therefore, you need to apply some creativity in remembering some aspects, such as you can use mnemonics. For example, in Piaget's stages of cognitive development, we have 4 stages of cognitive development, that is sensory motor stage, pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, and formal operational stage. So in such kind of thing where you need to remember the names in a serial manner, you cannot just remember the sensory motor and then directly jump to formal operational stage. It has to go one by one in a serial manner, in this manner from 1 to 4. Therefore, in such kind of situation, you can use mnemonics. So in cases when you remember the name and got confused of which was the first and which was the second, so in this case, this will be very much helpful. So what I did was I took the first letter of all the stages, that is SPCF. So here you can see SPCF. So out of this, in order to remember it in a serial manner, what I did was I made up a phrase or sentences. So I made up sentences using these first letters. For example, I made up strong person control feeling. So this is very easy to remember. So as soon as I remember the Piaget cognitive stages of development, I remember this phrase, that is strong person control feelings. And when I remember this, I was also able to recall the stages in a serial manner. So this is one kind of how you can use mnemonics in your studies. And if you are a person who is very much fond of cosmetic products, so you can also make up a sentence such as sun protection cream for fairness. So using this first letter of these 4 stages. So this was how I used to remember those aspects that needs to be remembered in a serial manner. Moving on to the next, this is the example of a mind map to remember very easily. So when you use mind maps, it becomes so much easier for you to just look at the map and then recall the connections that they have with each other. So you can create this mind map by your own in your notebook or in a chart. However, now that we have so many digital technologies, there are various websites where you can create your own mind maps, and these are very easy. So I have created this mind map using this website, link of which I have given here. So mind map becomes very useful when you want to look at the connections that they have. I think it's not much visible, but however, I just wanted to give you examples of how it works. So this is how to use mind maps. So I used to create these mind maps and I used to paste in my walls everywhere in my room. So whenever I enter my room and whenever I woke up from my sleep, I can directly look at my walls, and it helps me to easily recall the connections and concepts. So you can also do that, because sometimes there are situations when you feel lazy to go through your notes. So in that time, this if you paste this in your wall, then it becomes very much easier for you to directly take a glance and then recall the concepts. Next, you need to do mock tests. So for mock tests, what you can do is you can use various applications, and you can also use various websites. There are various websites you can easily search in the internet, and you will get to know that there is various applications and websites where you can easily do your mock test in various subjects. You can also use the NTA UGC website. So in NTA UGC websites, they used to make the mock test available just before the net exam. So when you do that, you will become very much acquainted with how the actual net exam takes place. So if you are a person who have never given any net exam till now, the computer based net exam, then I strongly recommend to you that you should use the NTA UGC website mock test, which they used to release just before the net exam. So in that, what happened, there you get acquainted with the type of questions, and you also get to know how you can skip the question and how you can come back to the question again, because there is demonstration also how to use that in the mock test. So when you go for the main exam after doing the mock test, it will make you more confident. And the mock test that is conducted by NTA website is consists of the same syllabus, and even the time duration is of the same as the main exam. The mock test of NTA consists of 3 hours. So when you do this mock test before exam, then you will get to know how you can manage your time within 3 hours. What are the aspects that you need to develop in your main exam? So you will get to know everything about that. So I strongly recommend the people to use this NTA website mock test, which is just released before the net exam. So the next thing is, keep yourself updated. If you're using books, then you also need to use internet and other reliable sources such as research journals in order to stay updated on the concept. So always study recent developments in the field of education. You can study this recent development from research papers and government websites, where they used to update recent developments and recent rules and regulation from time to time. And then you can also talk with people who are expert in the field of education, say for example teachers. Since teachers are also a stakeholder of education, so whenever there is some changes that is there in the education system, then the schools and the teachers, they come to know about all these changes. So you can talk with them, and when there is free time, you can interact with them and come to know about those things. And then you can also do peer discussions. If you have a friend who is preparing for net in the same exam, then you can discuss, both of you can discuss during leisure times. Coming to the next, after giving all the strategies, I also want to give some suggestions for you, which you should do and which you should not do during the exams. So these are the do's which you should do. So I strongly recommend you to attempt the direct questions at the beginning, because even in my case, when I appeared for the first time in my second semester, I went with the flow. I answered the question in a serial manner, and there were statistic questions as well and long answer questions also. So what happened, I spent so much time in the statistic question and long answer question in the comprehension that I didn't got time to actually attempt the direct questions. So what happened at the end, I saw that there was only 7 to 8 minutes left, and there is more than 30 questions that I had to attempt. So that time I randomly attempt all the questions. And after that, when the NTA website uploaded the question paper where we were able to download, I came to know that there were many questions which I knew the answer, but I was not able to answer them because of lack of time. So I strongly recommend that you first attempt the direct questions and skip those questions which are very lengthy and which are based on statistics, because you can always go back to that question and attempt that question at the last. So next is practice solving statistic related questions. So no matter if, even if you are good at statistic, or even if you know all the formulas, you need to practice, because practice is very much important. Because when it comes to net exam, it is not only about your knowledge and the correct use of formula. It is rather about completing a calculation in a shorter time. That is, you have to know the knowledge as well as you need to have speed in calculating those statistic questions. Therefore, when you practice, your speed will improve. So these are the things that you should not do during the net exam. That is, don't attempt the statistic question at the beginning. Even I was very much clear with the basic of statistic, but even though I ended up spending too much time in the statistic question at the beginning and ended up not being able to complete my direct questions. Therefore, I strongly recommend you to attempt the statistic question at the last, or at least at the middle, but not at the beginning. So especially if you are not very much good at statistic, then it's better for you to attempt the statistic question at the last, or at somewhere in the middle. So next is, never leave any unattended questions. So when you do the mock test in NTA website, you will come to know that the time is also showing in the screen, and then you need to look at the time, how many time is left. And if you think that there is only a few minutes left and you have to complete a lot, then that time you can directly just randomly select all the questions, but never leave any question, because there is no negative marking, there is no loss for you. So my dear friends, at the last, I would say that if you are able to apply these strategies in your life, then I am very sure that your study will also improve, and that you will be able to clear your net exam as I did. And if my strategies help you out in planning out your study, then do let me know in the comment section below. So guys, you can also visit my website, which is www.tameduin.com. So here I have uploaded contents related to field of education. I will be uploading more contents in my website, so you can always check that out. So thank you guys for listening, and I wish you all the best in your life, and take care guys, and see you all in my next video.